got to have two things to win. And number 76 on the list, Color of Money. Welcome to Longplay Video. Welcome to Longplay Video, where we go through my 100 favorite movies of all time. And today in the shop, we've brought in a pool table into the shop to go along with the gelato machine and the videos, because at number 76 we have The Color of Money. Kev, before we go much further, have you seen this movie?
So I haven't seen this movie, but I know what it's about. By saying that, I know it's about Paul.
Yeah, but it is about Paul. So therefore, obviously, even though you've not seen it, clearly we need to bring back our sports correspondent and resident doorbell sound effect maker. Oh yeah, Carla's just coming into the shop.
Hi. Hi guys, how's it going? I love what you've done with the place. This pool table isn't in the way at all.
So it's.
Can you explain why there's a gelato?
It was to get through life is beautiful, but it's all good. Welcome back to the store, to the pod.
Thanks, delighted to be back.
Yeah, and today we have The Color of Money to watch. So without too much more ado, I will pass you both. We actually, because we're a video store, so we have multiple copies. I can pass you both a separate copy of this video for you to take a look and get your initial reactions.
This is ridiculous. This looks like someone's painted the front of this DVD. What's going on? It's like they've all stood still. Like, no, stop moving, Tom. We need to. That's it. Hold the pool cue. Yep, there we go. It's
an interesting choice to not go with the photograph for Paul Newman and Tom Cruise, two of the most telegenic people of all time.
Well, I'm in utter shock because I didn't know Paul Newman or Tom Cruise were in this film.
Oh, there you go.
I literally the name of the film is really familiar, but I don't know anything about it. So,
okay.
Yeah,
well,
it's a
maybe you could give us the brief synopsis there.
Yeah, with pleasure. But also, sorry, quick question: is it actually a painting of them on the front?
It is. Yeah, it's not just pixelated. It is actually. It is a. I think it's a drawing rather than a painting.
Lovely.
But. Yeah.
Okay. So, The Color of Money. Paul Newman, one of Hollywood's greatest stars, and Tom Cruise, one of its hottest new talents, ignite the screen in this powerful drama, brilliantly directed by Martin Scorsese. Newman recreates one of his most memorable roles from The Hustler. Also, I'm not familiar with that, so I'm curious, Andy, for you to delve into that. As Fast Eddie Felson, he still believes that money won is twice as sweet as money earned. He forms a profitable yet volatile partnership with Vince, played by Tom Cruise, a young pool hustler with a sexy, tough-talking girlfriend, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. The Color of Money will electrify you with its suspenseful story, dazzling cinematography, and dynamic performances. Wow. That sounds like it's going to be epic.
that sounds like a video cover to really be selling the movie.
Just remember, it is about Paul. So just bring that back in.
So this is like a sequel in a way?
Or? It is a sequel. It is a sequel. It's a sequel. So The Hustler is the Paul Newman movie. So this movie comes out 25 years after. And he plays the same character.
But he's the young guy then. Okay.
Yeah. Well, to a certain extent. The Hustler is less of sort of the old guy and the young guy dynamic, although there was an old guy who tries to give him wisdom and he doesn't accept it. So there is a bit of that. But it's kind of funny because mostly sequels kind of do very much sort of pander to the film before. but this is like in the same universe and he plays the same character, but it's quite
completely different.
And is the first one also directed by Martin Scorsese?
No, the first one is, it's 25 years previous. So, but
so when did this one come out? Just to,
this was 86.
Clarify. Yeah, okay, 86.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The photo on the bottom looks like Paul Newman's doing a jig. I know he's actually just resting his arm on a chair.
He looks like he's just in the middle of something.
It's pretty, So The Hustler, it comes out in 1961. So it really does show, how
that
long
is crazy.
Paul Newman's
25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what age was Paul Newman in this when he filmed it?
He was 61.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
So he started really young. He's born in 1925. So it was very old. Well, did either of you have a relationship with Paul Newman? Is like
me or
were you know?
Yeah, from 61 onwards, I knew him pretty well. Yeah.
I saw. Is it Cool Hand Luke?
Yep.
I think I only saw some of that. Big fan of the sauces.
Yeah.
They're very good.
Yeah.
And it's charitable work. I'm trying to think if there was another. Yeah, I definitely saw a few films with him, but I'd have to look up his. I like him.
Yeah.
That's all I could say.
Yeah. Cool Hand.
I think
Kev, what would Cool Hand Luke be your Paul Newman reference?
No. What's the one he's in with Robert Redford?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
It's is he in another one with him? What's the other one that where they're? It is. I'm sure it's Paul Newman, but this is where he can test one maybe. What's the one when they're trying to swindle people out of money?
Oh, The Sting.
The Sting, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, The Sting's a great movie.
Oh,
yeah.
And I also never saw Road to Perdition, but that was his last film.
Yeah. I've never seen that actually.
He aged so well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously Kev's never seen that because it's got Tom Hanks in, but that's a different pod. I think Butch Cassidy, Cool Hand Luke, Hannah Houghton Ruth. So that he sort of plays the main person in the film adaptation of that.
Wow.
And how many films had Tom Cruise been in before this came
out?
So
this is 86. So this comes out the same year as Top Gun.
Oh wow.
And so like Risky Business was 83. So that was kind of, he was in The Outsiders before that, but Risky Business was him as the lead. But 1986, Top Gun, Color of Money. Then 1988 is Cocktail and Rain Man.
Wow. What an era of filmmaking for him.
Yeah.
No wonder he's the hottest new talent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Presumably he was filming this. I think he was filming this before Top Gun came out. I think there's like a rumor about they had to reshoot one of the scenes in Top Gun and they had to have him like getting out of a shower because he'd grown his hair back for Color of Money. And so like the continuity was all messed up. But I didn't pay too much attention to it, but something on the internet said that.
And then in full metaverse or whatever you want to call it, so Tom Cruise is now 61 presently.
Yeah, so it's interesting because obviously there's sort of a certain amount of like the passing of the torch and stuff like that you have in these movies, which does feature in a couple of my favorite movies, to be honest with you. There's one later down for Robert Redford, which I think was the same. But Tom Cruise isn't a Paul Newman type. Like Paul Newman is like classically trained. He's a theatre actor. He is an actor. Whereas Tom Cruise is like a movie. He's a movie star, isn't he?
Where we'll go with it.
Sound stunts.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that. Which one's easier or harder? But like, Tom Cruise is a movie star.
We've all got problems with Toms. Is this what we're? Is this what we're saying?
I mean, we've already gone through his career in night and day. So,
is Tom Cruise a movie star or an action hero nowadays? Has he?
I think
changed his
He's gone to action hero after turning 55 because why not?
Like Liam Neeson. I'm really excited to see this sexy, tough talking girlfriend.
Yeah. Any references for her? Do you recognize the name at all?
I reckon. Yeah, she looks so familiar.
The drawing of her, I really feel like the person doing the cover was like, and a woman.
Yeah. She could be
That's-
Susan Sarandon. She could be her.
Yeah. Everyone's like, can you sit down on this day for the artist? And she's like, actually, I'm a bit busy. Can you just I'll need a photo?
I feel like I've seen her screaming in a film.
Maybe as Maid Marian. She's Maid Marian in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Did you say it with Ryan and everything?
Maid Marian, because it's the American accent, isn't it? That Kevin Costner doesn't bother hiding.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that the only thing that she did this and then straight into that? Wow.
Well, I mean, that's not much of a career. No, she was in Scarface. She was in Scarface first. She came into this, and then she does a few different things, and then
wow, that's a trajectory downwards, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure this is a good film as well, but you start off with Scarface, you do a little drop down to this, and I'm obviously not going to diss my fellow Kevin, but Prince of Thieves, not necessarily the best film that he's ever done.
Sorry, is that how it works? Because you have the same name, Kevin. You just start on the side of every Kevin mystery.
We have our own little gang. Yeah, we catch up monthly.
I'm not
allowed to talk about him too much. Yeah.
Kevin Kline's been on the outs for a little while, but we won't talk about it.
Yeah. You just got to keep it mixed up. Move it around.
And I mean, that's it. Paul Newman, Tom Cruise, and then Scorsese.
So is that why it's on your list then? The Holy Trinity.
Yeah. So this actually was one of those ones. I was kind of looking as I was making the list. I was looking through sort of famous actors, kind of thinking, well, like how is there films of theirs that I like? And I thought, oh, Paul Newman, I wouldn't say that I was a massive Paul Newman fan, but I kind of, really respect him. I'm not Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. It just goes on a bit too long.
Yeah.
Cool Hand Luke is a bit of one note for me. Cat Upton Roof is a great play, but again, I wasn't. And then as I was scrolling through, I was like, oh, Hello for Money. That's a great.
I was going to say this did become the critique of Paul Newman. There, it's just like exactly, I just don't like any of your films.
Except,
he did okay. But then, I remember getting. So I watched this quite late. So I did some research, and I actually bought it as a DVD in 2005. And I bought this, American Graffiti, 12 Angry Men, and The Conversation all at the same time. So I was having a bit of a retro DVD binge.
We just call that an Andy session. Don't worry.
And what a Saturday night it was. And then I really liked it. And so funnily enough, I hadn't seen The Hustler when I saw this. Mm-hmm. And then obviously having watched this, I then went back to see The Hustler. And it was fine, but it just didn't connect with me in the same way as this film does. I do also love Paul, and I love Nine Ball Paul especially. Like I have very fond memories growing up. Me and my friend used to go and play 9 ball, like all summer we would go and play like 4 hours of 9 ball, and it was really good. So
okay,
the nostalgia kicks in.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to clarify it when we're talking about the game Paul versus the actor Paul. I was like, you're like, I used to really like Paul. And I was like, oh yeah. What did he do? Why did you hate him? I used to go and spend 4 hours with him. What did he do? How young were you? Was this appropriate?
With Paul Newman? What were you hanging out?
Wild
You just go around his
Summers.
house telling him you hate these movies.
Okay, we can call it Nine Ball from now on, if that's gonna
Oh, look at
help.
you. Yeah, that will help with the purists.
So it says on the front cover as well, Academy Award winner Paul Newman, Best Actor, 1986.
Yeah, so he wins
had he
the
won
Oscar for
Oscars
this.
before this?
No.
Wow.
So he hadn't. So he won the honorary Oscar the year before, which is basically when they're like, yeah, we really should have given you an Oscar.
Yeah.
He'd been nominated several times, but actually, like each time he lost, you look at it and you're like, there's a reason that you lost there.
Yeah.
Although
clearly you hate his films.
Yeah. I mean, gosh.
Let's not call again. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Nine Ball, the actor.
That time you spent around his house every week, gosh, all that kindness he opened to you 4 hours a week, and you just like, I hate this guy. He made me watch all these movies.
Oh, ridiculous. I love it.
He made me sit down and draw him for a front cover of a DVD.
And some other lady as well, but just didn't pay that much attention to her. So he had been nominated a lot. The sort of the most controversial one, he lost to Rob Steiger in The Heat of the Night, which is controversial.
I remember that year well, very controversial. Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
Oh, it's just, it hurts too much still, really. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
Well played.
You've completely covered that up.
So does he win the Oscar for this film?
He does, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. There you go. Another Oscar-winning film. Drop that in there.
So do you think Leonardo DiCaprio became our modern day Paul Newman, not Tom Cruise?
Probably, more so. I think that's a better comparison because he takes interesting roles and he is a movie star and he has, like, you can imagine a young Paul Newman, I think, doing Titanic and then going on the trajectory sort of, the same. So
we have Brad Pitt and Robert Redford.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Paul Newman.
Yeah.
So who's old Tom Cruise?
God, that would be good. I'm just thinking if they remade The Sting then, if they made that with Brad Pitt and Leo, that could have been interesting.
That'd be a good one. Yeah. I don't know, Steve McQueen, who gets Steve McQueen?
Oh, I don't know.
Is that cool?
Really?
Chris Pratt?
No.
He would
very
be good and
super psyched about that. He's punching the air. He's like, yes. Yeah, I don't know. He's very unique, I'd say. I don't know if anyone has the same charisma that he brings.
He was great in Escape to Victory.
He was so good in Escape to Victory. You guys should have watched that film. Yeah.
I feel like I have. No, he won the best Oscar. It's not a fantastic year for the Oscars, it has to be said.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, don't take away from his win.
Yeah.
No. Like, funnily enough, Tom wasn't nominated for the first Top Gun. Was he nominated for the last one?
No, he was.
Yeah.
They won for the music, didn't they, or something?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Admittedly, I haven't seen that either, so I can't judge it.
Yeah, it is actually very good, surprisingly. For a sequel
second
that's...
one.
Yeah. And how many years, Dan, did you know how many years it was between Top Gun 1 and 2? Are we just going into this really weird?
Was that what he was trying to do? It was 2022 was... so 26 years.
Is this like the Gregorian calendar or something?
No, wait, 46 years.
Wow,
that's
between
right.
the two of them.
86. Yeah.
Wow.
Because it would have been 86 to 22. And he looks exactly the same in both. So,
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. I mean, obviously, not to review yet another movie on a different podcast, but considering it is so long after the original and the original's so unique, I thought it was actually pretty good. But obviously, there are some.
We're talking about Colour of Money, or we're talking about
Colour of Money. Yeah.
We haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. Tom Cruise doesn't super yoga this, so I'm picturing. I'm thinking sort of Risky Business, Tom Cruise, where he's going to be good in this.
There's there's almost like he's such a cheeseball to begin with, Tom Cruise. Like he's just in all of his movies. Like there's no like, oh, I'm playing it cool, and so like almost like I'm in on the joke, or I know that I'm a bit cheesy. It just goes full cheeseball, doesn't he? And this is a great example of this. This is probably arguably this is even a better example of that than Top Gun. He is. I remember him just being really funny in this, maybe intentionally, maybe unintentionally, but it's just such a great performance for just like the pure arrogance of someone. And it has all of the Tom Cruise hallmarks apart from running. I don't think he was into the running yet, but
does he have a freak out? Like
he has a freak out. He has
they're the best.
He's got that $1 million smile. It's it's a really fun performance for him, but he is super young in it.
I'm quite like intrigued. It says it's suspenseful, and like I have no idea if this is going to be more thriller. That's what's confusing me with Scorsese, but like the cheeky grin on Tom Cruise's face on the cover as well. So kind of looks like it could be a bit of a comedy, but I'm guessing it's not.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a comedy. I would say drama is like the way to get. There's some tense scenes.
You don't really win Oscars for comedies anyway, I guess.
No, not these days. Not even if you're Paul Newman.
Wow.
But yeah, it's I mean, it did quite well. It's $14.5 million budget. It's sort of a bit legendary over time that this is the only film that Scorsese did to budget and on time. Like everything else, he's run over budget and run over time, and that was because Paul Newman actually put this film together, like really controlling. Like he chose Scorsese, he chose Tom Cruise. Richard Price is the guy who adapted it from the novel. Who's a very famous writer. So yeah, apparently he sort of he put together the whole thing, and then it made 50 million at the box office, which I guess isn't bad for a 9-ball pool.
Yeah,
low overheads, I'm sure.
So why did he want it? Did he just want it? He just wanted to get back into the character again.
I think so. Yeah, and I think the
wanted an Oscar.
He wanted the Oscar,
and he got it. I think both films are based on books. I think there's a few books. I believe that's true, and so I think
in the world, I think there's a few books. Yeah,
just generally. So he was like, let's make a movie.
Andy, in your opinion, would you recommend watching the first? I know you said you could watch them separately, but is it like worth getting to know the backstory?
No, I mean, I don't know, because I hadn't. I think almost kind of having watched this, you can kind of then go and watch the first one as almost like a prequel. I think that there's a lot of consistency between the characters, which is really good, and is sort of really good to see.
What I'm very curious about is the actual pool playing.
Tom
is Tom doing his own stunts?
So I mean, it's
when
Tom.
It all started.
It's all Tom.
There's one again allegedly. There's one shot that he didn't do, but apart from that, it is all him, and he must actually be making the shots, right? Because a lot of the scenes are kind of run on. So if he missed the shot and knocked the balls out of place, then it wouldn't look the same. So so I think
didn't have the special effects in those days, so you basically had to learn how to play bull. This was the beginning of his OCD started in this film. Paul Newman just secretly takes down Tom Cruise and sends him down an avenue he had no idea he was going down. Yeah, wow.
And so why is it in the top 100 for you, Andy?
Yeah, I think it's that combination of kind of everything of Scorsese, of 9-ball, Newman, Cruise. It all kind of comes together. It's super fun to watch, because it's all of them actually, like, not at the top of the game maybe, but like all of them really contribute really well to it. And funnily enough, I think I've watched it once since I watched it originally. So I'm also really excited to watch it. This is actually like I mean, they're all my favorite movies, obviously, but this is one that I'm like, oh yeah, I get to watch this again.
Oh,
this
cool.
is going to be a good one. Obviously, that could go down in flames. But
you might decide to hate this one for Paul Newman as well.
Exactly. Yeah, that Paul Newman guy.
Bring back all those bad memories. Yeah.
Just spent too much time with them.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, put your 20p's down on the pool table so no one else disturbs us while we watch the movie. Grab your gelato and we'll crack on. So as Carlo and Kev go off to choose their gelato, I'll give a quick prediction. Yeah, I think they're going to like this movie. I think it'll be up Kev's street. I think it is a bit strange on the tone. So I think they'll think that it was a bit weird. But yeah, I think they'll both like it, and hopefully I'll like it too because I can't remember it that well. But yeah, we'll put it in and see what it's like.
Disappointing.
Oh
wow!
I know.
Not see that coming.
Just not at the level of Escape to Victory.
Well, to be honest, now I have a new appreciation for Escape to Victory. Look,
oh no,
and I guess it's not like, I'm not saying I full on disliked it. I guess I was just disappointed. Like maybe my expectations were too high. I found it to be a bit slow. I think.
It is slow.
Yeah, and I mean, I liked a lot of parts of it, but overall, I was just kind of like, all right, come on, you know. And so I'm looking forward to talking about it now with both of you because I want to hear what you think and everything. And I did like Tom Cruise, his character. I thought I got what you were saying, Andy, like the kind of way that he's got a shtick, you know.
Yeah.
And also I did think Paul Newman's character is good, but overall I was just a bit like, I mean, probably could have been an hour and a half or an hour.
Yeah.
Half an hour, 15 minutes.
This could have been a trailer. So I'm curious to hear what you both think.
I was thinking, like I haven't seen this film before. I think I've seen like a little bit of the start before, but I haven't seen the whole film. I think the style of it, the characterization, building the characters, they're really good, and they're such good actors. I think that makes it so much better because you've got these really three key good actors. And I'm thinking about some other films that we've watched recently where maybe not having good actors, impacts the film. But yeah, I think for me, it would have been really high up my list, but the last, I don't even know, probably 30 minutes maybe, there's just a few too many pool montages and there's just no dialogue, and you're just like, all right, we got it. That these guys learn how to play pool and we're now seeing those spoils, but it's like, we understand what pool is, we can move on. So I think, the end bit tournament drags on a bit longer than you probably need. But other than that, I really liked it. I thought Paul Newman was fantastic. Tom Cruise was, old Tom Cruise, he was good. I think all three of them were really good. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
I mean, a triple threat of pool montage because there's Paul in a pool so that he gets fit to play pool. So it's, it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's funny that you say that you didn't like some of the montages and stuff, because I think that was giving me the balance I needed. Because
oh, really?
Some of the dialogue bits, like I agree with you, the way they really built the characters and the relationship that they all had with each other. But I kept feeling like, okay, we've seen this bit again. Like we're doing it again. Yeah, okay. Tom Cruise is pushing back. Paul Newman's disappointed. The girlfriend has to rein him in and all this. So I was like, okay. And then sort of like some of the montages offered like a little bit of, we're back in the game, light relief. Sort of. I don't know.
I mean, when he's getting back into playing, comparing it to like Rocky, it's just so funny that he basically goes to the opticians and he goes to the swimming pool. and then he's good. Although I actually really like that montage as well. I do think it's good where he's paying out the money, and then he's paying out the money to the other guy, and then he's paying out the money to the old lady.
Yes, she has her visor on.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh no, now I beat the old lady, and then I beat the guy, and then I go back and beat the guy in chalkies as well." So, I like the montage. I actually, my note was I just miss montages. I don't think we have as many montages nowadays, even though this is like the lowest key montage I think in the 80s. This is so low key.
Yeah, that one was good. I think but didn't you think there was just too many pool ones, like where they just kept showing? They showed about 10 different pool shots every single montage. I don't know if it was just because Paul Newman was like, I've learned how to play pool. I'm good. I want you to show me on screen actually doing it.
It's in the contract.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it definitely felt like it was in the contract.
Do we feel like was there more actual sport in this one than there was baseball and Moneyball and football and Escape to Victory? Is that what you're saying? That there was just too much sport in this sports movie, and you just didn't like it?
I think there's too many montages of sport in this sports movie. I think I could have just watched an act. I think if you'd have had, that was one of the things near the end, I just did too many at the end for me personally. I think you could have had it where they were playing shots and then Paul Newman and Tom Cruise were interacting with each other and there were chats, and then you could combine the two together. Whereas it felt like it was Paul Newman and Tom Cruise have a scene, then there's a montage.
One or the other.
It wasn't linked together. And so you kind of like, okay, I know how Paul works. I want to see how these characters are interacting with each other.
I just wanted to watch the cool pool shots.
I was kind of more that too. I was like, and also the bits that I did like were really trying to suss out Tom Cruise. Like, is he going to let his ego take over here, or is he going to follow the advice? So I liked that at the start, and then I was just getting frustrated. I was like, would you just listen to him and get the money?
It's what happens when you're young. You know, you're never listening.
And while we were watching it, I did glance over to you watching it, and I noticed when the montage came on, Carla would lean forward and Kevin would lean back, and then when there was a dialogue bit, Kevin would lean forward and Carla would lean back. So yeah, no, I can see.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was interesting. How do you find it, Andy, watching it?
What I think it does really well, I think, is the fact that like for 85-90% of the movie, Paul Newman's there being like, it's just about winning the money, it's just about the cash, it's just about like the hustle and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then actually it's like, no, actually, like I don't actually believe that at all. I want to be better than you at Paul, and I want to be able to beat you. And I think that's such good kind of character work that he's almost, you realize, I think when he starts coming back and he starts playing the tournament and stuff, you realize that actually everything he said to Tom, he's almost trying to convince himself of. And that actually, like, it's almost like an unreliable narrator where he doesn't actually believe any of that. He just wants to be good at pool again, and he just wants to, it doesn't matter about the hustle at all, which I think is just a really good sort of twist. Yeah, he should be happy, and Tom Cruise kind of throws the last game. And you're trying to figure out what's going on there, which I think they keep quite hidden quite well. And then when he comes in and sort of tells them, I think Paul Newman's girlfriend just being like, well, he's a prick, isn't he? I think it's just the perfect thing. I think it's just, and then Paul Newman does like the sort of the bit where they're walking into the first pool hall. That's actually like now like furniture. Yeah. But he's like, I've got goosebumps. And then when he's talking to Tom Cruise in the car as well, and he's like, look, you got me back interested in this. Before now I was selling whiskey to my girlfriend. I'm not, why does he have to sell whiskey to his girlfriend? Surely his girlfriend's just like, why are you pitching me? Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll buy some. Like,
no, this is, she knows what he's like. He's a hustler. You got to be careful.
She's a businesswoman first.
Well, was she? Because then she goes and just buys all the whiskey.
That's true. O'Donnell's, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just give me some labels of wild turkey. But like, yeah, like again, I think with Paul Newman, you really see that he's excited. He's like, you got me back. You got me get back going and like interested again. I do think he just portrays that really well. That like, he was sort of, he was just going along and he was making money and that was fine. But actually, Paul is what he loves and he wants to go back and do that. And I think that starts right at the start with, I love his reactions to the breaks when he just hears Tom Cruise like break in the background.
Over
and you
his
literally, just like, you see him like react and be like, geez, what's that? And then it happens, which is also funny when the guy comes to take another 20 and he's like, are you hustling me or him? Like,
the guy, Julian.
Yeah. So I do think, I do think it is really, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, still really enjoyed watching it.
I think, and then there was that scene at the start. It's a funny part that I guess, I don't know if in the 80s things were just starting to change. And they're like, hold on a minute, we need to address this as well in this film. So he starts off, there's a scene where he's talking to Tom and he's like, oh yeah, Paul, it's a young man's game, which I mean, of all sports, I don't think really Paul is a young man's game. But then they're starting to talk about it because he's saying, oh yeah, you're getting drugs coming into it now. And I'm like, what is it? Why have they randomly introduced drugs? As if that makes you better at pool. It's what is going on? It's not like athletics or you're getting like, steroids to make you run faster. Like, and now doing cocaine and you're like, right, okay, and that makes you better at pool. How?
He said alcohol was a more honest game or something. I think is what he said.
So that may be one thing with the Hustler. He's playing the guy, and they play for like 24 hours, or they play for the entire time, and so they're drinking, and then like in the end the guy beats him because they're just playing for so long. So that I think is a bit of a bit of a throwback, but it's a very anti-drug movie, isn't it? Like Julian's doing drugs and just like disgusted by it and stuff. So.
Other than alcohol, which it portrays as the elixir to always drink, but it's very anti-drugs, isn't it?
It's Reagan's America. It was just say no, so it's all the time.
So I wanted to talk about the pool playing itself, and we had spoken about Tom doing his own shots, and so did Paul. And Paul did a lot of good ones where you actually saw it go in as well. But with Tom, I felt like they very rarely showed you where the ball ended up. So I'm wondering, someone like they're grabbing it, putting it in.
He's going to be really unhappy about this. Tom's going to listen to this, and he's going to be really. This is the film that started him off. He
did say, I saw a little clip where he did say he'd gotten like a pool table in his apartment at the time and was practicing loads. But
he's left-handed as well.
No, he plays with both. He plays with both hands. Like when you see him like play, and then he plays like one-handed, and then he plays
true.
not looking at it and stuff. Yeah, Carlo and Tom Twitter fight coming up. That'd be awesome.
Tony, you're a fraud.
Yeah. Hashtag bombs are forward. I mean, apparently he did all of the same. He did all of the shots apart from the one where he jumps the two balls.
It's true.
And then gets it in.
Well, see, I don't contest that he took the shots, but did they go in? That's what I'm contesting.
Yeah,
I understand why this is on your list, Andy. Now, the more that you talk about it, I'm like, this is exactly what Andy wants to do. He's like, I just wanted to play pool. What happened? Like, I was hustling people, and now that I don't know, something went wrong. Maybe you got into the drugs, so that's what happened. And you're like, only you didn't know.
I mean, I know what you were like, Carla, during Escape to Victory. So I'm sure you spotted the professional pool players like Keith McCready, Steve Mitherek, Grady Matthews, Jimmy, Pretty Boy, Floyd, Matea. All these names.
He's my favorite. Yeah.
You were looking up their footage on YouTube afterwards.
Yeah, I have all their merch. And I did think the scene in that like main pool hall where he was supposed to play the guy where he'd win like $5,000.
Yeah.
I did love that scene where Tom was playing the really good guy and everyone was like, woo, cheering him on. I know it wasn't for that much money, but I did love that scene. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
That is the classic scene to the Werewolves of London. Like right from the big, when the music starts, I mean, it's a very Scorsese thing. He does like his background music, I would say. Like it's always apparent, but it's not, never as apparent, I think, as in this. But even so, it begins, the soundtrack begins as Paul Newman's driving there, and actually you see the light on the car are actually in time with the beat of the song. And then obviously Tom is like the hammiest sort of playing up to playing him and putting like it's such a great scene. And I think it is, I mean, at the time especially, I think sort of Tom Cruise just had, like with Risky Business and then with Top Gun, like he had these scenes where he just almost just gets, he can just let rip and just sort of be the sort of the cheesiest, but again, like just so photogenic, so center of attention that you can't help but just sort of laugh and smile at his antics. I did think there's one line in it when when Paul Newman says he's got to learn how to be himself, but on purpose. And I just thought that was probably the best description of Tom Cruise of all time. Like it's just from that moment up until Oprah's sofa, when actually people were like, okay, now don't be yourself.
Yeah. On purpose.
That's interesting. I was just thinking about because he jumps up on the chair, doesn't he? I had that down as a point. I was like, is this something that he has in all of his movies, that he has to just jump up and down because he's jumping up and down on the bed?
Oh yeah, true.
This is where it all began.
Art mirroring life, mirroring art.
And
I mean, Paul Newman, he just is so cool in it. So it's so cool in actual fact. I did the pep talk with Carmen in the car was weird. The fact that she's still like stolen a piece of Tom's mother's jewelry and is wearing it.
Yes, that was so weird.
She comes across as quite a psycho. But the fact that his shirt matches the interior of his car, and yet he's still cool enough to like pull it off. And I think if you're wearing clothes that match the interior of your car and you can still pull it off, for me, like that's just done. Like you're
the
just
outfit at the end where he has like a little sweater under the suit, and then he has those glasses.
The glasses.
He looked amazing. I was like, wow.
Were you
what
just
a babe.
hypnotized by his eyes?
So
except they were covered by those glasses.
So he said, didn't we? He's 61 in this. So do we think he looks better than Tom Cruise does now? So Tom Cruise obviously 61 now.
Well, Define looks better because Paul Newman just let himself age, whereas Tom Cruise's hair is like jet black and he's probably had a bit of work done and stuff. So it's kind of hard to judge them as the same age.
Yeah, he looks old for 61 in like 61 now, and that's the problem, isn't it? That people don't age in the same way.
Yeah,
they're cryogenically frozen now.
Yeah, well, just life's just so easy now, so it's fine.
All the face serums they have now. But the whole fashion, I thought the fashion throughout the whole thing was great. Like, I loved the t-shirt, the Vince t-shirt.
Oh my God.
I was thinking, like, I'd love one of those. The more I talk about this film with you guys, I'm like, what a great film.
I think that we should get them. They feel like t-shirts that we should own.
I just think,
part of the pod.
Especially like turning up to a pool game with your name on a t-shirt. It's so good. I mean, I know, Terry, you're a leather jacket guy, so you know you're going to be all over that. I don't know. I think the camel coat. I think Paul Newman's camel coat is pretty cool as well. Like slightly longer. And I do think Forrest Whitaker, like just popping up to be.
What a surprise!
But just absolutely. It's almost sort of Philip Seymour Hoffman-esque, like just it's so strong in it and so like charismatic. I mean, he's not in it a lot at all, but he's just like, you a hustler? He's like, no, I won't take the money if you don't want me to take the money. I don't want any harm. But then saying, oh, I've got a question for you. Should I lose some weight? Rather than like anything profound. he's just brilliant to get him in and to do that.
Where was that in his career? Actually, I'm curious.
It's pretty early, but he'd been in Fast Times, so he was on the way up. Yeah,
he was good. That was a surprise. You're right. I didn't anticipate him to be in there at all.
Yeah,
but he is part. He gets Rocky back on his feet and gets him down to Specsavers, and then obviously everything changes after he's been there. I mean, this is the best advert for Specsavers ever. I don't know why they're not using this film.
Or you just other opticians are available. So, but that's the thing. Like it's a very Scorsese film, and I actually like it. I mean, there's no other Scorsese films on my list. I'm not a big gangster guy. I think there's only one gangster movie on the list, and that's maybe got children playing the gangsters. No spoilers. So, but I think that's the thing. Like, he brings the same style to this. It is like all of the fancy shots. I mean, the last scene when they're just about to play each other is in a room full of mirrors. And like, obviously, being in a room full of mirrors shooting a film is incredibly difficult because you're going to be seeing cameras. And yet, it just sort of effortlessly like throws it in. And then I would say that the shot of the queue went on a little bit too long for my liking. When he first gets out the, what was it, Bababushka or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's the right name.
Wow, that's a loving shot of the queue, like all the way down. I was a bit like, all right, fellas, come on. It's just that
was the only sponsor of the film. They had to get that in.
I think about 80 grand for one of those. I did look it up quickly on online.
Yeah, wow.
So
the one in the movie is a replica, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's back in the day. You couldn't
we'll save up for your birthday, Andy. We'll do our best.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I mean, you won't have to with how much the videos are flying off the shelves in the shop. To be honest with you, we'll hear that. We'll have a couple here. If you want to come down to the shop and play some pool, we'll have a couple in the rack that you can.
And then we want you recreating the Tom Cruise scene. We've concluded all the moves.
Doing the behind the back nunchuck moves and stuff like that.
The karate kick.
I didn't think there was actually anything that would date it too much. I mean, it's obviously not like today.
It's an 80s
but actually movie, there wasn't anything that sort of, apart from obviously, and in the Werewolves of London scene, obviously everyone would just be stood there with their phone. So he definitely wouldn't have made it to Atlantic City. Everyone would have just been filming it. But besides that, I thought it kind of, there
was one line that aged it well for me. It was, "You're acting like a girl who got felt up in a drive-in." When Tom Cruise was walking beside the car, I was like, "Oh, how could you?"
And Tom Cruise probably wouldn't get that reference at all.
But like, I did think when it opened, I was like, "Wow, this is so 80s." Like it was the opening scene is incredibly 80s, but I loved like just how in it then I was. I was like, "Oh, we're going back in time." But it didn't age then from then on, because I guess the fashion is back now. So
well, it's back also having to sit through the opening credits. And it wasn't just like who stars in this film. We went down to production designer, I noticed.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, okay, we have to sit here.
We're doing this now.
Remember that? Remember those days? Go on then. What did you have? What's the describing to aliens? What did you go for, Kev?
Well, I feel like it should now have been an elaborate advert for Specsavers, but I went for a father and a son enjoy their hobby together. Get them together, just out in the pool hole, What about you, Carla? What did you go for?
Men battle with sticks for money.
Very true.
It could be a completely different film with that in mind.
Well,
what about you, Andy?
I went back actually to build on my Moneyball description. So I said, see, I told you the balls were important. Here there are 9, and you have to make them disappear so you can shout loudly. So,
Yeah.
It's important that the aliens know just how important balls are to us as a civilization.
I know that in your ones, you're in conversation with the aliens. Like it's
negotiation.
The next pen pal letter. See, I told you.
As they're listening to the pods, obviously, they get it.
Oh.
But I did think, I think there is a question for the film. I do think it does well with the is it about winning or is it about being the best? Is it about proving yourself? I think
it's about being the best.
Yeah,
it's all about being the best. I think that was the thing for me. The ending was a bit like, I was like, and it was kind of a classic 80s ending when you just had to end it on a high. All 80s movies end on a high. And he's like, yeah, come on, we're going to keep playing. And they keep playing. He's like, I'm back, baby. And then he just sort of freeze frames and then cuts away. And you're like, oh, God. I thought it was a young man's game. What's happening? What's happening, Paul?
And again, I was like, yeah, he's back.
Carlo actually jumped in the air and froze.
Yeah.
In the air.
Yeah, with my fist in the air.
Yeah.
Your friends were like, are you all right? And then just silence for like a good 10 minutes.
I thought it was more, rather than the winning and being the best, I thought it was more like purpose. Like, okay, yeah, he obviously has to win to feel good, but it seemed like it was his purpose. Like he was just happier playing, winning or losing.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much losing. So
look at that. Yeah. Deeper. I like that. That fits in well with our post-COVID 2024 world. Find your purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do drugs, just alcohol.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, just alcohol. Yeah.
Sponsored by O'Donnell's.
but it's funny that they call it Color of Money. I feel like that's kind of missing the point a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, true. Yeah. You could have had some kind of reference to Paul instead, you reckon?
Yeah. But I think maybe that that sort of helps with the but is it about money or is it about being good or is it is it just all about the hustle? Because I think it's kind of as it goes on as well, you're not really sure who's hustling who and is Paul Newman actually hustling them? And then obviously in the fight bit, he's like, well, you used us. And he's like, yeah, I did. And obviously that's because, he sort of feels like he used him to get his love of the game back. But I don't think he was trying to do that. It's just.
But also like Carmen, that's her name, right? The girlfriend. Mm-hmm. She's kind of like playing both of them not the whole time, but for a while as well. So it's all like, they're all kind of double agents.
Yeah.
I found her relationship with Eddie, so I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's also where I was a bit like, it was just kind of, I don't know.
Creepy.
Yeah, it was creepy and I was like, where is this going to go? I really hope they don't cheat. And
but isn't it but that's maybe part of it is like, is she going to go after him because he's got the money? So, and actually she's just trying to get out of whatever situation she's in. Obviously she's not in a great situation.
Yeah.
And that's why she, got bailed out of prison and
they don't
they could have
really pursued her though, do they? You don't know about her characters. They can't just drop in these bits where they go, oh yeah, she's hard ass because obviously she's gone through a tough time, but then no reference to her background or anything. It's just sort of like, yep, I've got your mother's jewelry still. Yep. Yeah.
She worked in a diner. We know that much.
Yeah.
It was a shame because I thought she was good. I think she could have built her character out a bit more.
I do know what you mean, Kev. There's the subtleties of his acting where like the scene where she does say that she worked in a diner when they're in the diner and he's talking about himself, he's kind of talking out at the side of his eyes and it all just looks so like natural but also slightly uncomfortable. And then them in comparison, the two, the Carmen and Vince, you feel like they're acting, whereas he's just like easy breezy.
Yeah, just effortless, wasn't it? Even like his first
cool.
scene, you just sort of like, you're like lured in immediately. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. It's like you said, Andy, like when he's like listening at the bar, he's just so good. He was really, really good.
And like offering the $500 and then like, are you going to take it? No. Well, no.
Oh, yeah.
Then, and that was, straight away kind of, sets it up. I mean, you do have the one scene when he sort of goes in and tells her basically to stop, trying to seduce him, which gets maybe a little bit rough, which maybe dates it a little bit as well. But I think it's kind of good where, is she just out to, okay, well, I can kind of trade you in and go on the road with this guy. But actually, I really like Paul Newman's girlfriend. I think she's really good in it as well. Because she's just like, oh, right, okay, well, you're not coming back. We're not going on holiday. And then at the end, she's like, oh, well, I moved out of my place and but she knows why he's doing it. And she's like, she can tell that it's important to him. So actually, I think she has just a very understated, but is really good in it as well, because she's like, no, that's nice that
she just understands him.
Yeah. When she's like, well, you weren't listening to me. Like, what did I just say? But she's kind of fine with it. So
I think all the characters are pretty good in it, even like Forrest Whitaker's character, and then that other guy as well, the one that is his go-to man at the start. He's been in so many things since
Julian.
Film.
Oh yeah,
John Turturro. I
didn't realize he did. So all of the cast of them were all really good. All of the characters are strong. I was impressed with. I thought honestly, but it was good. Other than like the excessive amount of montages, but
any characters that who was your favorite character, Carla? Like, it doesn't have to be like who you would most want to be, but like is it the casual coolness of Paul Newman, or is it the cocky confidence of a Tom Cruise?
I think it's Tom Cruise, and not because he had the cockiness, but I think he was also just kind of like a bit naive and sort of, I don't know, almost innocent too, even though he's trying to swindle people as well. Like, I feel like he was complex, but in a kind of sweet way. I don't know. I liked his character. I liked whenever he was on screen.
I think he was good. This comes back to the fact that you just got really good actors in. Like the fact that you've got Tom Cruise doing that, it feels like as you said, he really feels like he's really naive, and at this point he'd done a few movies, right? So he knows what he's doing. I went with Tom as well, obviously.
Obviously for you,
standards. What about you, Andy?
I do. I'd like to feel like I could mature into a Paul Newman, but definitely, especially back in the day, like, and playing Paul as well as most sports. I think I was much more of a Tom than I was a Paul Newman. For my
Did you have a T-shirt that said Andy?
I had one that said Vince. Sure. I never really got it. I wasn't the smartest kid. So, any favorite lines that we haven't already covered?
Yeah, there were some great ones. There was when Paul Newman's coming back and he's playing that old guy at pool. I think the old guy orders something. He's like, "What do you want?" He's like, "I'll have a drambuie and potato salad." I was like, "What is that? How is that? Why are you ordering both of those things? It's just and together."
That's the second reference of drambuie in the pod, because that's also where the guy was stationed in Airplane. So
we need to get sponsored by drambuie.
Sponsored by drambuie.
Sorry, O'Donnell's, you're out. Drambuie. I did like the Forrest Whitaker line as well. Should I lose some weight? Unexpected.
When you think he's gonna it's gonna be a serious question, and then
he's just like, no.
My new catchphrase is everybody goes home in a limousine. That's what I'm gonna say now. When it's like win-win, I'm gonna be talking to in a work. I'm gonna be like, well, if you do this, everybody goes home in a limousine. That's gonna be what I'm gonna
get that into pitches.
It'll be fine. And I did also like when he described this used to be a nice, average, bad neighborhood. I thought it was that's a good line. So onto the reviews.
Yes.
Interesting. Like 3-star reviews are so interesting. Some films, a 3-star is like absolutely panning it. And then sometimes 3-star is really good. And this one, they were, well, let's go through some and we'll see, because they weren't really about
I love
the film.
this part.
Yeah. First one, very good film from start to finish, does not disappoint. My only complaint is the cover of the case. So they also had a problem with it. And I don't know whether they took off 2 stars, because very good film from start to finish. If they're taking up 2 stars for the case, I feel that's
maybe they're expecting that jig from Pawn.
Because of the way they was just someone else said, if I'd known Disney distributed this, I wouldn't have bought it. So
wow.
All right, 3 stars.
Wow.
And then also, so obviously a Disney hater, but then still giving it 3 stars. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Slick storyline, acting, title, over the top, and perhaps too much attention to pool table. I think that's obviously translated into English.
Dev wrote that one.
Yeah, that was me. That was definitely me. Yeah.
So someone
too
said,
much pool in this pool film.
Too many different types of pool. You got Paul Newman. You got 9-ball pool.
Swimming
pool. Just leave it alone. Someone said, I watched this to tick off another Tom Cruise film.
Oh,
maybe going through all of the Tom Cruise films and just ticking them off.
I like that.
And then one person did notice Scorsese's penchant for music in the background, saying excellent acting in the sequel to The Hustler, but Scorsese has a fondness for incessant, noisy, tuneless background music that drowns the dialogue, to the extent that I had to resort to subtitles for most of the movie.
Wow.
I'm not sure
someone doesn't like 80s music.
Yeah,
tuneless.
And then this was my favorite one. So this one, just see, there's basically one word that just throws off this entire review. Let me finish the review, and let's just see if you spot.
See if we pick it out.
Can't wait for this.
You spot what the word is. The basic elements of the tricks of the trade with the captive will be captivating for snooker fans as they learn about hustling, the payoffs, and the demands of the tactical sport. However, we're able to see the passion of the sport and appreciate the ideologies of the snookering world. The slow movements in front of the snooker balls are great and represent the technicality of the sport. And Cruise is acceptable as the arrogant snooker player.
Yes, there's a small issue with that.
Wrong sports, pal.
They are going to be in a shock.
All that effort to write that review.
And that is clipped down. It's a very long review. And I just imagine him going into work the next day and talking to I saw a really good snooker film last night, and everyone being like, snooker film? What? Yeah. Is there a snooker film? I'm not sure there is.
Film about snooker.
Oh, yeah, Paul Newman's in it. In a snooker film.
That is so random. They're going to be super disappointed when they actually see some snooker and realise how slow and dull that is.
And like the hustler of a snooker. You're like, no, I don't know anyone who hustles at snooker.
Snooker shark.
So, do we think it would do better or worse if it came out today?
I think worse. I don't think people have the patience to sit through a pool movie, a multi-leveled pool movie.
Movie.
But any Scorsese film will do well.
Only did 50 million, to be fair. So
I'd happily go watch it at the cinema.
Yeah,
it depends. Would it be on a streaming platform or would it be cinema first?
With Tom's, it's going to have to be cinema, isn't it? He doesn't believe in streaming.
Yeah, true.
Until his films bomb at the cinema, and then he's quite happy to pick up the streaming revenue. So
yeah, we've all been there, you know.
I think it could make 50 million. I think I reckon it could do it. Interestingly, I do think like it wouldn't be 9-ball pool nowadays. It'd probably be poker. Like, I think poker is sort of taken over, right, with the late night coverage of that and stuff. And that was actually also my my pick for the algo. So I did the maths.
Yeah.
We say this each week. At the moment, the algorithm is 11-12 behind. So this could bring it level. So I had Rounders as the film that I think it's most like. Because it also has the like friend dynamic at the heart of it. Someone having to come back and like prove themselves and stuff. That wasn't one of the top 4 movies that the algorithm has. What did you have, Kev? What would you say?
Oh, I actually completely forgot to do this, so I haven't got anything. I was too engrossed in the multi-level pools. It was.
What other films have 3 different pools in?
I mean, it's obviously just. I don't know. There are too many things like this. I guess it's very 80s feel, but I don't know. I'm going to be interested to see what did the algo come up with.
So they had Pool Hall Junkies. I mean, just because it's got
drugs
pools.
Again.
This is actually this is the reverse of that. This is Pool Hall Drunks, not Junkies. Queen's Gambit, because actually it's written by the same person who wrote Queen's Gambit. Cincinnati Kid, Wimbledon. Do you remember Wimbledon?
That's a terrible rom-com, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then Borg McEnroe
watched
because obviously like it went down a tennis thing. So I think that's a loss. So
I agree.
The algo falls 13 behind.
Oh. It's a tense race. I mean, who knows? It's going to have a late surge. It's impressive. That's
been the first time in a while that the algo's been that bad. So
yeah, that is a bad one.
They were weird suggestions.
Yeah, Wimbledon was a super bizarre one.
I mean, is that just someone's trying to get that sold more so people watch it? Because that's a terrible film.
I know I should have known more about that film as the sports pundit, but
yeah, well, you won't have to watch it. It's not
on the list.
Not higher. It's not higher up the list.
Which is a shame. I mean, it's a rom-com. It's sport. It could have been on there.
No.
All right then, Danny. So it's on the list. Where is it? Is it going to stay where it is? Is it going to move up? Go down? What's happening?
Yeah, so I feel like this is around the place that it should be. I did really like it, and I remember really liking it. As I say, it does take me back because I like all of the pools, but I do like Nine Pool especially, and I have fond memories of that. So I did like the shots, and some of the shots I've copied in my time. When
look at this!
When I've been
wait to the end of the pod to just throw that in.
The old no look shot is just easy because obviously you just line it up and then you don't have to look, and you don't have to look. Nothing
look at you. Paul, leave it alone. Move on.
I've got the camel coat on.
Well, I'm just imagining you doing it and then ripping the lining of the table with the cue, looking away.
So I'm gonna raise it up a little bit. I thought that it would hit its level would be under Clueless still, which I moved up to 67. So I think I'm gonna move it up to 68. Just sort of like eight places.
This is funny. It's funny you mentioned Clueless because I was just like, but as per in our last in Bruges, where I'd put it on the list of your films. Interestingly as well, my one's in between Clueless and The Artist.
We both thought, well, it's not as good as Clueless.
Exactly. Like we're in sync.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah. So what number of the movies have we done so far? Does that put it out?
This is 8 of 25. So yeah,
nice.
It was. I think I did really enjoy it. It would have been higher if I'd been. Yeah, as we discussed, there's a few too many pool montages, but
there's just one too many pool. Really. If he hadn't have gone swimming, I think it would have been fine. If it was just the two.
Once you cubed it, that was too much for me. Squared aside.
Thanks, Carla. But Carla, for you, the bottom of the sports movies.
I think so.
Wow, interesting.
Although,
Wow. Below Escape
I
to
don't
Victory
know.
/ The Great Escape.
I'm gonna have to sit with this one for a little bit between the great. Did you call it the greatest? Escape to Victory and The Color of Money. No, The Color Purple and The Great Escape. I have to say, definitely Moneyball is still at the top of the three. But and you know what? I even found a throwback in this film to Escape to Victory, in that Tom Cruise was wearing the same high heels that I think Sylvester Stallone was.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah, I can see that. So
they'd be worth a lot of money now.
The wardrobe was very similar. That's underneath the Sylvester Stallone's leather jacket when he went into Paris. It actually said Hatch, and we're just like, oh, now you've ruined it. You've got your name on a t-shirt. What are you doing? The Germans are gonna bust you
know.
really easy. Awesome. Well, that does actually conclude our sports movies per se. But don't worry, Carla's color fans out there. Don't worry. I'm sure
I have other hobbies.
I'm sure that she'll be back for one. But thank you as always for coming on. Great to have you.
Thanks
down
for
at the
having
shop.
me.
And we need to have a quote for next week, which I've not prepared at all. But luckily, it's also my list of favorite movies, so I know quotes from all of them.
That's right.
Yeah. So this one is "Don't look away for an instant, not even one." There we go.
Interesting.
Thanks, as always, to our own Scorsese setting the music to Tom, and we'll see you next week.